Do you struggle to make yourself understood when speaking French? It could be because the French that you learned in school was focused on spelling and grammar, with very little attention given to pronunciation. If you really want to become more fluent in French, it's very important to concentrate on learning spoken French, not the technical French that you remember from school. Luckily, this is exactly what we specialize in here at Comme une Française. So let me explain how you can improve your pronunciation to be better understood in spoken French. The French R is quite tricky to pronounce for English speakers. It comes from placing the back of your tongue to the back of your throat. For example, in la mer for the C, la mer, la mer, la mer. Or le car for the bus, le car, le car, le car. Try this. En un quart d'heure, notre grand groupe arrive en car en bord de mer. Ooh, that's tricky. In 15 minutes, our large group arrives by bus at the seaside. That's tricky. You can try again if you want. En un quart d'heure, notre grand groupe arrive en car en bord de mer. You'll find more details about it in today's written lesson. It is a free resource for you on my website where every week you can read and download the full written version of this lesson to read along the video with extra content that could not fit in the video alone. But the point is, many people who try learning French as adults have trouble with the French R. And it is often one of the last traces of an accent, even for students who've been living in France for a very, very, very long time. But here is some very good news. You really don't have to concentrate on mastering the French R. French people can understand you very fine even if you struggle with the R. It's okay really, it really doesn't matter. So here is my number one tip to be better understood in French. Don't concentrate on trying to erase your accent. Don't focus about sounding chic in French. Instead, you should strive to be understood when you speak and be able to navigate other problems of French pronunciation, the ones that are much more important than the French R. For instance, here is something that can lead to many, many more misunderstandings. The difference between the vowel U and the OO sound. Can you even hear it? For each of the next examples, try to hear if I pronounce a U sound or a OO sound. Tu, tu, tu. So what do you think? Tu. Dessous, dessous, dessous. Tu es sûr, tu es sûr. What do you think? Tu es sûr. Tout, tout, tout. Dessus, dessus. What do you think? Dessus. Tu es sourd? Tu es sourd? Tu es sourd? As you can see, the problem is not just that U is a weird French sound. It's that if you don't pronounce it well enough, the person that you're going to be talking to might not understand what you want to say. They might understand something else entirely. So let's quickly recap the pronunciation here. We have U, U, U. It sounds like a longer U, the sound that you have in foot, foot, O, U, U, U. And U, U, unfortunately doesn't really exist in English, however. U, U, U. When you pronounce the ooh. Your lips are rounded, ooh, ooh, ooh. And your mouth is almost completely closed and your tongue is in the back of the mouth. Ooh, 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 ooh. When you pronounce the U, it is the same except that your tongue is much more in the front. U, U, U. It should be pressing against your teeth. U, U, U. The back teeth. U, U, U. U, 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 U. Let's practice together right now. Repeat after me. U, 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 U. Il l'a vu. He saw her. Il l'a vu. Il avoue. He's confessing. Il avoue. Il avoue. Elle et nous. Her and us. Elle et nous. Elle et nous. Elle est nue. She's naked. Elle est nue. Elle est nue. C'était nous. It was us. C'était nous. C'était nous. It was us. C'était nous. And then, c'est ténu. It's very thin or flimsy. C'est ténu. C'est ténu. Once again, you will find more tips and examples in the written lesson over at my website. And it's all free. But for now, let's go to our next issue. The French vowel nasal sound really pile up the difficulties. They sound like on, and with your tongue at the back of your mouth and the air pressing through your nose. That's why we call them nasal sounds. So first of all, they are hard to pronounce. At least something very important that is really going to help you is that the N in these sounds is silent. In a nasal vowel like this, there is only one sound. It is a on, not a on. It is on only. There is no n sound. There is no n. It's not an. It's not on anything. It is on only in a nasal sound. But they can also be spelled in different ways in written French. Yay! For each vowel A, E, I, O, U in French, you can add an N after to create a nasal sound. So it makes from top to bottom. On, like un an for a year, on. Then with the on, like les gens, repeat after me, on, les gens. And yes, it is the same on sound as with the A as before. Then we have un, as in la fin, the end, repeat after me, un, la fin. Then we have on, like un son for a sound, on, un son. And finally, un, like numéro un for one, un, repeat after me, un. And for most French people, it is the same un sound as before. So each sound, un and en, actually has two spellings. And if you're a bit more advanced in French, you even know that there is even more than just two spellings to them. And there is something even worse. Sometimes we don't add an N to create a nasal sound. No, sometimes before a P, an M, or a B, we use an M instead. For instance, le champ for the field, le champ has an M but a on sound. Une ombre for a shadow is a on sound with an M. And at last, emmener to bring, emmener is a on sound with an M instead. And there is even more to that we will see later, or in the blog post for today's lesson where I detail all the rules about nasal sound pronunciation and even more weird spellings. But for now, our third problem with French nasal sounds is that they are everywhere in our vocabulary. Mistaking one for the other can result in miscommunication and embarrassing mistakes. Yes, they will make for funny stories, but you will still feel a bit awkward when you are misunderstood. Nasal sounds are the difference between c'est tentant and c'est tonton. That's tempting and that's my uncle. Or even des vins français, French wine, and des sourcils froncés, furrowed eyebrows. And many, 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 many more. And that's what we're going to see right now with practice. So repeat after me. La route des vins. The wine road. La route des vins. La route des vins. La rose des vents. The wind rose or the compass rose. La rose des vents. La rose des vents. Le fond du fond. The bottom of the bottom or the deepest part. Le fond du fond. Le fond du fond. Good, you did pretty well. Let's go directly to the quiz then. How do you pronounce all these? Je vais manger du. Je vais manger du chou with the OU sound. Je vais manger du chou. And this one, we go where they don't go anymore. How would you say that? Can you guess? There's a little trick at the end. We say on va où ils vont plus. On is a nasal sound. On. Then we have où. On va où. On va où. Ils vont. It is a on sound with a silent T. On va où ils vont plus. And plus does not have an S sound because it means not anymore. I did a lesson on that on plus with or without the S. And our final quiz sentence for today. How would you say that? It means finally a humble child who could simply take the time to eat all his ham. Okay, take some time. Don't get scared, it's okay. It's just an exercise. You're in a safe space. How would you say that? I made this hard on purpose for you. Okay, ready? I would say, enfin un enfant humble qui a pu simplement prendre le temps de manger tout son jambon. I'm sure you can repeat that after me. Ready? Enfin un enfant humble qui a pu simplement prendre le temps de manger tout son jambon. So we have many nasal sounds on purpose because this is an exercise. We have the en sound in enfant, okay? In enfant for a child. We have en sound in enfin as well. Enfin. Enfant, I say that already. Same nasal en sound. Simplement, same en sound. Prendre, en, again. Le temps de manger, same en, tout son jambon. So for all these underlined that you can see now, it is the same en sound. Then we have un sound, like number one. We have enfin in un, enfin. Then we can add the un sound to that. So we have the un in enfin at the end of enfin, un sound. Un enfant, like number one, simple. Humble is a un sound, humble. And that's it for this sentence. And I will leave with you the difference between u and ou. Okay, that will be up to you. So repeat after me. Enfin un enfant humble qui a pu simplement prendre le temps de manger tout son jambon. Again, let's repeat after me. Enfin un enfant humble qui a pu simplement prendre le temps de manger tout son jambon. Yes, it's a bit of a tongue twister even for me. And one last time, a bit faster. Enfin un enfant humble qui a pu simplement prendre le temps de manger tout son jambon. And you're done for nasal sounds for today. We did it, and that was really great. Congratulations. I know that nasal sounds are difficult, and concentrating on them is going to really help you be understood much better. Keep practicing these differences between the U and the U and the nasal sounds. You will find many lessons exactly on this topic in the weekly written lesson for today's topic. There is a link right below the video in the description. But please keep in mind that the real insight for today is to concentrate on practicing what you actually need in real everyday French conversation. And now you can keep improving your spoken French comprehension on your own, or you can keep exploring modern everyday French with me and all the obstacles on your way in Understand Fast Spoken French. Click right here on your screen to watch this video and I will see you there. Allez, à tout de suite!